keeping the bonnet on in this one. I don't care. I don't care to take it off. I don't even, I don't give, see, look, this is the amount of shits that I give. I don't even give two. I barely give one. Anyways, um, it feels so weird to not be at work. And this is because for the past like year and a half, maybe 2 years, I've been working basically every day. And it's a pretty bad cycle that I put myself in. And I put myself in that cycle for several reasons. Some of them personal, uh, and then others just kind of like, I just like having money. And I ended up like, because I have a bunch of guitars, um, I have a CD collection and a vinyl collection, and I like being able to have that. And I remember earlier on at my first job that I ever had, I was 18. I almost turned, I think wait, no. I might have, okay, this is really weird. I don't really know how old I was. I was either 18 or 19. And if I was 18, I was about to turn 19. But if I was 19, okay, yeah, so I was 18. All right, there we go. I figured it out. So I got my first job when I was 18, a couple months before I turned 19. It was a fast food job, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of hours, and it's because my boss thought I was like stupid or something. But he realized earlier on that, like, not earlier on, he realized quickly that I was one of his best options. I was always available because I wasn't in school. I didn't have another job. I didn't have other stuff I needed to do. I always wanted to work. I always covered people's shifts, and I always showed up and I did the work. And I went above and beyond a lot. So, but if there's any advice I would give to anyone in their, if their first job is a fast food job, do not go above and beyond because it's nice, or because it feels nice to do that, because they will quickly take advantage of you for doing that. No one told me that was going to happen. I was kind of blinded by the fact that like money is coming into my bank account. And I thought that if I work more, then I get more money. If I get more money, I can get more things that I want. And it's a pretty bad cycle because when you're not making a whole lot of money, the thought process is to work more. But that ends up honestly like working you to death basically. There were several times at that job I would work very, very, very long shifts, and I would come home and I just would like I'm just like, you know, I didn't feel real half the time. There were moments where I just like questioned whether or not it was worth it to even live if this is what it meant to live, because I thought that like, if this is just going to be the rest of my adult life, I don't want to live like that. And I don't really think that there would be any way out of living a life like that. But I was pretty blinded by the fact that I just thought that every job didn't pay a whole lot. But I was making 12 an hour, so that wasn't really that great. But yeah, I worked basically every day. Uh, I would get like maybe 1 or 2 days off a week, maybe one if I'm lucky. I mean, it was basically I closed and then like I had to come back into work the next day. Uh, I would always show up early, so they would always be like, "Yeah, you can clock in early if you want." More money for me, but like at the cost of my mental health. And I'm not gonna tell anyone what to do with their life, but like low key, if you can, don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. I'm not gonna trauma dump on YouTube, but there were a lot of really bad life altering decisions that came about because of basically working myself too hard. Um, but yeah, I would not recommend that to anybody. But so yeah, I remember quitting that job and got my second job that I work at now. And it was the same cycle. Fast food jobs, they low key are kind of like that though. Uh, and that's the thing that I hate about fast food jobs is it's based off of like a skeleton model. I think that's what it's called. Where like they they bring the minimum amount of workers per day, and that's it. So let's say like three people on a Thursday, and they're all swamped and like they can't do everything. Like for example, at my job, we have several different parts that everyone needs to fulfill like at a given time. And there are four. Uh, there's drive-through, there's food, and then there's like another part. I just call it ice cream, and then forgot. And then there's like the front counter. So there's four parts that are like integral. And I would say a fifth one, like, doing dishes and like cleaning up and restocking. But usually if like the morning shift people do all that for us, we don't really have to do a whole lot. I say that like as if I don't do morning shifts too. But anyways, but like, uh, we usually end up not with enough people, so we end up swamped and people running around trying to get things done. And it sucks. But most fast food jobs are like that. And that's why when you go through the drive-through and the person taking your order seems like they hate their life, because they probably do. Uh, I mean, I think I'm probably like the only person that like if you pull up in the drive-through, I ask you how you're doing. I remind you about your total when you pull up to the window after I already told you. I ask you about your day. I ask you what you did today. Ask you if you have any hobbies, if we're still waiting for your order to get done and I have spare time on my hands. Stuff like that. But I guarantee you, most people in the drive-through are not going to want to do that. And it's because like they are worn out and exhausted from working so much and for such little pay and like no like breaks. Most fast food jobs don't give you breaks. I get one, but I usually have to work through it because I can't stand watching my team struggle without like knowing that I can help them. So I end up having to work through my breaks, and sometimes I get told, are you fine with working through your break? And like I don't care, bro. Like dead ass, like I genuinely don't give two shits. Like um and I know that's not a very healthy way to think, because like they'll probably just be like, oh yeah, he'll work through his break, it's fine. But like, bro, I don't care. Like my team became my family. I would take a bullet for any of the people that I work with. And so because of that, I don't care if like I can make sure they don't have to struggle. Cuz like I don't know what they have to go home to. Well, I mean I do, but like in a vacuum, I guess. You never know what people have to go through when they go home. You'd be surprised. I'm lucky enough to have like the trust of a lot of my coworkers where they like talking to me about stuff and they like venting and ranting about their life with me. So I understand like a lot of the shit that they have to do when they go home and a lot of the shit that they are escaping when they go to work. And it sucks, but like I would never want them to do that by themselves. But yeah, it just feels weird to not be working. Like this whole week, it's been job two, and I don't get a whole lot of hours over there. I get a decent amount. Uh, I also get paid way more too. Anyway, like I get paid 17 an hour, and I get paid 14.50 at my first job. So that's already a $3 difference, and I got offered a $20 raise. Like not 20 plus dollars, but a raise to $20 if I want to take the key holder position for while my boss is on maternity leave, which I mean, oh, I wouldn't be opposed. But yeah, it's just weird not working every single day. Like I've just been on edge basically. I can't sleep and I can't really like think without like thinking about work, and like I don't know. I take a walk every day, and that kind of wears me out a little bit to the point where I can take a nap. But even then, like it's like I barely get any sleep when I work, and I barely get any sleep when I don't work. It's like, what? You'd expect that like not working will like make me able to sleep more, but it doesn't. And I'm over here like laying in bed, like staring at the ceiling for 3 hours. Uh, like dead ass, that happened the other day. I would literally like did not touch my phone for hours and like nothing happened, and I'm just like, what's going on? you know and I just think that like when you're so used to like working on adrenaline, because I would work several days without food. But that's my problem though. Like I just have a really bad time with eating. Uh, Working several days without eating proper meals, without sleeping enough, and like eventually your brain is just running on adrenaline, I guess. And then like when you get the chance that like you finally aren't on adrenaline, it's just weird.